Hi, my name is Maggie Hughes, and I am calling to beg you to defund the police. Defund the Atlanta police. There is no other way forward for this country if we cannot recognize that the police are terrorizing our Black and brown and indigenous citizens. The only way to keep that from continuing to happening as it has for hundreds of years is to stop funding the police. Stop funding the police. Defund the police. If you care about human life at all, you will defund the police. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Mia Dunning. I'm a resident of Grant Park, and I'm calling to request that the Atlanta City Council defund the Atlanta Police Department using those resources, monetary resources, and fund education and community resources instead. So once again, I'm calling to ask the Atlanta City Council to defund the Atlanta Police Department. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karen Montaño, and I would urge you not to increase the funding for the Atlanta Police Department for the 2021 fiscal budget. We have been protesting for weeks now to reduce the amount of money and reallocate it to other services that would better serve the community. Services like education, transportation, and community service providers like social workers. I urge you to consider these. Thank you and have a good day.
Hi, this is Susie McGee.
And Michael Plotner.
We live in Kirkwood, just around the corner from Zone 6 Police Precinct.
We are homeowners in this neighborhood, and we really stand against y'all trying to cut $1.2 million from the executive offices, which would impact a bunch of different stuff that we fully support. And we also think that adding $12 million to the police budget is a terrible idea. And really want y'all to consider defunding the police and redistributing those funds to social services.
And communities and education and homelessness services and food security. Please invest that money into our community. We're proud Atlanta residents, and we're really concerned about the budget that's being proposed. So we thank you for the opportunity to state our thoughts and considerations, and we hope that you'll take them seriously.
Casey Benning. I am a resident of District 3, where Antonio Brown serves as my city council member. And I'm calling you as we're thinking about ways to redirect the funding or the additional funding that has been placed in the budget for the Atlanta Police Department. We talk a lot about community resources and redirecting funds to community programming, and I think that's necessary. We specifically need to focus on our youth and mental health, especially in District 3. However, I would also like for us to consider a plan put forth by City Council member Amir Faruqi of District 2 around his task force for economic security. I think as I've read through it, it is phenomenal. It has a diverse group of leaders that I really believe has the best interest of that district at heart. And it would be awesome if this would be a task force that could be expanded across all districts. And if not across all districts, I really do implore my city council member, Antonio Brown, to take a look at it and to see what can be done so that we are able to have a similar task force here in District 3. I am concerned as I see most of our neighbors still being priced out of their homes and not having the same amount of affordable housing as promised by both the mayor and the city council person elected, Mr. Brown. And so I really would like for him to take a look at this task force that council member Amir Faruqi has created for his district and to do the same for District 3. As a resident, I am happy to assist in this effort. Again, my name is Keisha Benning, or Casey, and I am a member of District 3 as a resident. Thank you.
This is Arlene Bratton, Bratton, living on North Muskogee, and I do support a raise for the police department, which would include not only funding for the officers themselves, but for training. In addition, if there is a way to include in the budget repair of our streets, the potholes, certainly on the major streets. Thank you for all the good work you do, and you have our support. Thank you.
Hi, this is Lee Harmer from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am calling to demand that we defund the police and invest the millions of dollars being wasted on militant police into education, housing, and other social community programs. Thank you. Bye.
My name is Marianne Robertson, and I live in the Virginia Highland neighborhood of Atlanta. I, along with countless other Atlantans, are urging you to defund the police and slash the fiscal year 2021 budget for the police department.
Hi, this is Brenton Hall. I live on Dodd Avenue in Mechanicsville in Atlanta. I'm a small business owner, and I am calling to voice my concerns about increasing funding for the Atlanta Police Department. I believe that we need to defund the police department in our city and use the money that would have gone to them to create some type of a community health and safety task force. We've seen over the years the abuse of power and lack of accountability of police officers in terms of the way they handle cases in our city. I don't think it's been working, and I think we need to reimagine and recreate systems of keeping the public safe here in the city. So specifically, I think there needs to be a plan created to dismantle the APD and build this new type of system. I think the 2021 budget needs to be cut. I'd like to see the defunding of the jail. Let's try to find ways to keep people out of prison, keep people in their homes, keep people with their families. We need to come up with holistic systems. We need to come up with systems that are geared towards improving the quality of life for people, keeping our communities safe, but not just locking people in jails, separating them from their families.
Hey, good morning to all the members of the City Council. My name is Andy Friedberg. I am a resident of Grant Park neighborhood, 30315, and I wanted to leave a comment regarding the proposed city budget, the general fund, asking that the city defund the police. And by defund, I don't necessarily mean that we have no police. I don't know what it looks like. I think this needs to be a discussion, but I think the budgets need to change. $217.5 million is the largest thing in our budget. Let's give a lot of that money away. Let's make the police a true community initiative. Let's take away their guns. Let's take away their tasers. Let's put people on the streets that can actually take care of people. Let's have this money go to other areas. It should go to social workers. It should go to health initiatives, community health, public health. It should go to affordable housing. It should go to affordable and fresh foods for all. It should go to farms. It should go to all these things that will support people instead of breaking down. I ask you to please consider reallocating this money. I don't know what the answer is, but that's something we need to discuss. But if we put our money where our mouth is and we support people instead of... Anyways, my time is about to be up. I appreciate you all. Thank you for your work. please consider my words and those of the community to give us what we need and what we're asking for. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abigail Spasser. I live in the East Atlanta Kirkwood area. I just wanted to say that I'm very disappointed in the proposed budget that increases police funding but takes away from other social services. I think that's completely backwards and the opposite of progress and makes me ashamed to live in Atlanta. So I hope you reconsider. Again, my name is Abigail Spasser. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Emily Wirt, and I live in the Virginia Highland neighborhood here in Atlanta. And I'm calling in regards to your fiscal year 2021 budget review that you have this morning. Just to state that I'm in support of defunding the police and defunding the jail. These unjustified killings of civilians continue to happen in our community and our city, and it's at a price that is uncalled for the little to no crimes being committed in each instance. In the most recent instance, a man falling asleep and potentially getting a DUI does not justify being killed. Let's reallocate these funds to other means, such as equity and inclusion funds, so we can promote healthier communities for our city, so that we can be a leader in this nation of how a big metropolitan area can be successful and just be a beautiful place to live. Thank you for listening to this message, and I hope you all make the right decision this morning. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dalen Altizer. I live in Druid Hills. And I would like to urge the City Council not to add $12 million to the police budget. I would actually urge you to defund the police. I think as we can see through protests all across the country, people are not happy with the policing that's being done in our country, and we really need to reconsider how we do it and demilitarize. I think Atlanta could really, really benefit from this. So I urge you as a resident and a constituent to please, please decrease the budget for the police and defund the police. That's all I want. That's all that you guys need to do. So please do it. Please listen to your people. Everyone in Atlanta pretty much is on the same page about this. So please listen. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Hagedorn, and I live in the Virginia Highlands neighborhood of Atlanta. And I, along with so many others in this moment, urge you to defund the police and invest in social services and housing and education, things that will actually make all Atlantans safer and a better place. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashley Thomas, and I'm calling with a comment in regards to defunding the Atlanta Police Department. Hopefully, by 50% at least. It is a true violation of human rights to fund a whole entire police institution exponentially more than community development. Even public defenders, you're going to spend all this money helping people get locked up left and right. Their caseloads are going to be super stacked like usual, and they get so little to defend people who can't pay for privatized lawyers. Sincerely, City of Atlanta, we act like we are this progressive place. There is so much affluence, so many different communities. It really does truly seem to me that in terms of people who need it most, get the shortest end of the stick, like usual. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of people in communities that need development and don't receive it. They also don't have proper medical attention. There are so many things, so many reasons that people are on the streets. I've spoken to these people. The people are on the street looking for drugs and anything just to feel better because they have ailments. Some of them have cancer. They can't get proper. It is an abomination for the police to get so much money and for the citizens of Atlanta
to receive so little. Everyone has a right to thrive. Do the right thing.
Good morning. My name is Carla Cameron Sadek, and I'm honored to speak to the council this morning as a mother and a grandmother and a longtime resident of Atlanta who loves her city very much. I would like to encourage and implore the council this morning to consider their constituency as they vote for where money is placed, the money that's from the taxes from the people. I would encourage you to please use that money to serve the constituency, which I believe would be priorities of basic needs. Let's give some education money, not frivolously, but to teachers who tirelessly, even through this pandemic mess, have used their summers, their time, their whole lives. As you all know, how when you go online, it's all day and all night to serve their students, to keep them motivated, to keep them moving forward. Let's increase teachers' salaries. Let's increase the amount of health care for our constituency. Let's take care of our people, body, soul, and spirit. Let's get them moving with internet. Let's get them moving with transit so they can go the places that they need to go. Let's encourage corporate to contribute to basic needs, especially internet and computer needs for children. You can give a kid a laptop, but if they don't have internet, thank you so much for listening to a mother and a grandmother who loves her city. I implore you to keep in mind the people whom you serve. Thank you so much for your time. God bless. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Leo Holland. I live in West Midtown, Council District 9, my neighborhood planning unit D. The neighborhood is Underwood Hills. I'm calling to urge you to defund the police and move these funds into matters that the community needs. I know too many people who are teachers who have to work part-time jobs in order to make ends meet while they're still buying their own supplies. I voted for Mayor Bottoms with the promise that she would deliver on being a mayor for the people. I don't want that vote to go in vain. The Atlanta City Detention Center is still open after a promise Mayor Bottoms made to close it. Please be a mayor for us and don't let us down because we will be voting again. Thank you.
This is Louise from West Midtown, and I'm requesting that Atlanta defund the police. They do not need any more funds or any more power that they already have right now. They need to be defunded ASAP.
Hi, my name's Adina Hilton. I live in Kirkwood in Atlanta, and I'm leaving a message because I think that Parks and Rec, City Planning, Public Defender, Ethics Board, Citizen Review Board, Grants and Community Development deserve a much better budget. Therefore, I think that we should defund the police because I think that money should go towards other departments. I think they need it much more, and I think that there's a lot more importance to them, so their budget should increase, and we should defund the police. Again, this is Adina Hilton, and I live in Kirkwood, and my number is 773-606-4921. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Akila Callahan. I live in District 5, and I'm calling to request that you join Bottoms and City Council, respect the will of the people, and it will be...
Hi, my name is Joanne Brooks, and I'm a resident of Summerhill. I'm calling to comment on the fiscal year 2021 budget because reimagining the police is not enough. To protect the community, the police must be defunded and use resources reallocated to more effective community-based strategies for reducing crime and increasing safety, such as diversion programs and the newly established Department of Equity. The Atlanta City Detention Center must be defunded and demolished
to reduce harassment, violence, and death at the hands of the police. And reimagine ACDC task force policy recommendations should be adopted. Lastly, the APD should be held accountable for the lives it has taken. Reopen investigations into APD killings in 2017 and develop a community tribunal to assess use of force and hold the officers accountable. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Audra Murphy, and I live at 741 Britton Drive Northwest, right near Georgia Tech. And I just wanted to tell the City Council that reimagining the police is not enough, and I would encourage the City Council to not give so much money to the police and instead try to fund different programs in the city so that we can focus on reimagining, city services as a whole, not just the police. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Maddie Fry. My neighborhood is Grant Park. I live at 730 Oakland Avenue Southeast in Police Precinct number 3. And my comment is about the city budget, proposing to spend $217 million and potentially increasing that this year on police. I, as a resident of this city, do not feel that we need to spend our money on police. Instead, I would ask you to reallocate those resources to grants and community development, which is currently getting the least amount of money from the city at $313,000, and Parks and Rec, city planning, and educational opportunities for our youth. In addition, what we focus on is what we enlarge. If we continue to focus on police and policing, quote unquote, communities that don't need policing, we will continue to find criminals and put them, and I put criminals in quote, and put them in the prison industrial complex, which is making money off of the backs of people who are not criminals and do not deserve to be in jail or in the prison system. I would encourage you to please listen to all these people who are calling, asking you to defund the police, and at the very least cut that budget in half this year from $200 million down to $100 million. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.
Hello, my name is Michael Dreyer. I'm an Atlanta resident, and I'm calling because I would like the Atlanta City Council to fully restructure public services and refund actual essential services, whether that be housing, whether that be the public welfare, whether that be healthcare, whether that be youth incarceration, rehabilitation, or release. A long story short, I would like to defund the police, not reimagine what the police are, not reform the police. I would like to defund the police, pull much of this egregious funding that goes toward the police force and in its bloated budget, and reappoint it toward actual essential services that help this community rebuild from the mass incarceration era that is hopefully ending now. So again, my name is Michael Dreyer, an Atlanta resident, and I would like you to defund, not reform, not reimagine, defund the police and pull from their first string to help our community and refund all the many essential services that have been defunded over the last 30, 40, 50 years. Thank you very much. Again, defund the police.
Hi, this is Shamar St. Julian. I'm from Midtown. I'm calling because I feel that it's important that you guys know that reimagining policing is not enough. We don't want reform. We want you guys to defund APD. That means defunding the budget. Reallocate that money from the police department and put that into education, put that into infrastructure, put that into more productive things that help build the community, not take lives.
Hi, my name is Molly McGribbon, and I live in District 5, and I'm calling to express my support for defunding the Atlanta Police Department and reallocating those resources. The city should establish a reimagining public safety plan, creating a 5 to 7 year plan to dismantle APD and build a new community-based, community-controlled public safety system. The department's fiscal year 2021 budget should be cut by 50% by reducing the APD's scope of work, starting with relieving officers from all other forms of quality of life policing. All the money saved from the reduction in APD's budget for fiscal year 21 should be reallocated to alternatives and community-based resources, including but not limited to the newly formed Department of Equity, diversion programs such as pre-arrest diversion and other community-controlled programs. Do not begin the hiring process of the new chief of police until a community-based council can be formed to review APD's scope of work and disperse hiring decision-making power across a community review committee. Increase officer-to-resident ratio and demilitarize APD through assessing use of riot gear, chemical and lethal weapons use as well. Also, the Atlanta City Detention Center should be defunded and demolished. And we need to bring justice for our people, reopen investigations into all APD killings since 2017, and develop a community tribunal to assess use of force and take steps to hold officers accountable. Fire the officers involved. The officers involved in the killings of Alexis Christian, Oscar Kane, and Deandra Phillips should be fired. Thank you for your time.
Hi, this is Jenna Vines from Briarcliff Heights, Cocoa Hills, North Druid Hills area. I wanted to leave a message in regards to the budget, city council vote on the budget. Wanted to say I'd love to see some defunding from the police and added towards more human services for our community. Stuff like ending human trafficking, looking at homelessness services, even sustainability and immigrant affairs would be phenomenal. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Overland Ojalaya, and I live in the Cascade Heights neighborhood of Fulton County in southwest Atlanta. And I'm calling to add my comment that the Atlanta City Council defund the police department and do not increase their budget by the $12 million or so that's being proposed. I understand that the mayor is talking about reducing the Department of Corrections budget, but that is not the police budget, and we want the police budget reallocated to resources in our community that would help stop crime instead of the reactionary and ineffective Atlanta Police Department that does nothing to help stop crime before it starts. So we're asking that they defund the police department and reallocate those budgets somewhere else. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Andrea Ness. I live in Adair Park in southwest Atlanta, 30310. I would just like to leave a comment for the City Council and for my representative, Joyce Shepherd. Please reduce drastically the police budget in the proposed 2021 budget for the city. We do not need to be investing in the cops. We're seeing what they're doing. They're not keeping us safe. Please invest in community-based programs that can revitalize and bring justice to our communities. So my ask is to cut the police budget in half. We don't need as many cops. They don't need as many weapons. I would love to see all the police disarmed, actually. That would make me feel more safe if they didn't have guns. Yes, again, my name is Andrea Ness. I live in Adair Park in southwest Atlanta. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amal Aliyamani. I live in Grant Park neighborhood, and I'm calling to encourage the allocation of funds away from the police department and into other community services that specifically benefit and support the Black communities in Atlanta. Thank you, and I hope you will take my account into consideration.
My name is Jordan Taylor, District 3, Knight Park Howell Station resident. I'm calling in to demand the defunding of the Atlanta Police Department. When I say defund, I don't mean reimagine, and I don't mean reform. I demand that the Atlanta Police Department is defunded. Proposing a budget in which $12 million is added to the already obscene police budget is not only unacceptable, but shows a clear lack of concern for the actual community. You are establishing an environment wherein the residents you serve are not cared for, are not provided for, and are certainly not protected. I demand that the police stay established in the city of Atlanta and immediately. You want to provide Atlanta's police department additional funding for what? So they can lock up and murder more black people with impunity, so they can commit more crimes and discriminate against the taxpayers they're supposed to serve, so they can abandon our community when held accountable for their actions. Meanwhile, you're cutting funding to human services. You're cutting funding to end human trafficking in one of the human trafficking epicenters of this country. You are not serving your community, and I demand that you change course immediately. I demand that the budget is redone and funds are allocated towards sectors who actually serve our community. I demand a raise in funding for human services, end human trafficking, and community development. I demand an end to the food deserts in our minority communities, and I demand a bolstering to affordable housing. My name is Jordan Taylor, District 3, Knight Park, Howard Station resident. I'm calling in to demand the defunding of the Atlanta Police Department. When I say defund, I don't mean reimagine, and I don't mean reform. I demand that the Atlanta Police Department is defunded. Proposing a budget in which $12 million is added.
Hello, my name is Adam Forrester. I live in City Council District 6. I just wanted to express my desire to not have the executive offices cut of $1.2 million. I think that those services need to remain. I think that the proposed $12 million budget increase for policing in the city seems to be too much. I think that police in general being asked to do too much. They're sort of a catch-all service, and I think that there should be other community-oriented service folks in our neighborhoods that don't carry a gun, and someone besides a police officer should show up when someone is asleep in a drive-through lane, or when someone is mentally unstable and holding a screwdriver. I think that there should be mental health professionals, community-oriented service folks in our neighborhood, and that increasing the budget to provide more equipment that is more similar to the military or our police is perhaps not the best way to serve and protect our communities here in Atlanta. So thank you for hearing me out, and all of the best.
Hello, my name is Lydia Simpson. I live in Virginia Highlands. Regarding the June 19th budget meeting, I wanted to request that the Atlanta City Council move to defund the police and reallocate those funding to community things, such as homelessness, our public schools, healthcare, etc. Thank you. I believe that the money would be better served elsewhere. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, this is Megan Robertson from Reynoldstown, and I'm calling about the Atlanta City budget. I would strongly love for the police to be defunded and for more money to go to community programs as well as city planning. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Van Houten, and I'm a citizen of Atlanta. I work at Town City Market, and I live in East Lake. And I would like the council to end participation in DILI, the program where APD is trained by the Israeli government. I'd like the APD to end collaboration with Fulton County and White Street Jail, and have a divestment from criminal charges and investment public help. Thank you for taking my call.
Hello, my name is Veronica Lewinger. I live in Virginia Highlands of Atlanta, And I listened to Mayor Lance Bottom's speech on Monday, and I'm calling to express my concern that the task force, although a step in the right direction, does not assess the needs of the community, nor does it assess ways to reallocate funding towards building communities, underserved communities of Atlanta up. So you can, while well-intentioned, and I think establishing My Brother's Keeper, these are certainly steps in the right direction. It is not enough. Money needs to go away from policing and towards community grants, recreation centers, providing social services through recreation centers, providing wellness support through recreation centers or new wellness initiatives for underserved communities. There needs to be a task force established for assessing the needs of underserved communities in Atlanta and figuring out how to provide services so people make better choices, that they feel supported because they are employed, and then the need for policing goes down. You cannot have a police task force but not do anything to lift the community up aside from My Brother's Keeper. It is simply not enough. It is not enough. Thank you.
Erica Smith, you don't deserve a raise if you don't do your job. The police department has failed at its core function of keeping citizens safe up to and including the sit out. They just got a $5 million increase last year. They don't deserve another $12 million. I am requesting this money not be awarded to the police, rather reallocated to departments like diversity and inclusion, sustainability, and human resources. Thank you.
Hello, I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Atlanta, Dominican Alex, and just wanted to call and tell you that I basically agree with the cutting of the budget of $1.2 million from the executive offices, which diverts money away from equity, diversity, and inclusion that is trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, and human services. Why don't you do that when you turn around $12 million in the police budget after increasing it $5 million last year? After all the incidents that have happened and all the protests, I just don't understand why you would go against what the people are trying to fight for and make the city actually better by defunding the police, which is the right move here, and you guys know it. Thank you for hearing me out. I hope you guys make the right decision, make the city a better place by defunding the police. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Greg Van Lanningham. I live in Grant Park area of Atlanta. I just wanted to offer my opinion that as you're considering the budget, I feel that a lot of money that is currently being proposed for the police budget might be able to just bang for the buck, dollar for dollar, do some more good under other programs. So there's social programs addressing housing, homelessness, things of that nature. So kind of tie in with the defund the police kind of sentiment that I know others have stated. I just wanted to state my support for that as well. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Lauren Fry. I live in the Cabbagetown area. I noticed that the proposed budget for financial year 2021 included a cut of $1.2 million from the executive offices, including many diversity initiatives, immigrant initiatives, human trafficking, sustainability, and human services initiatives, as well as an included increase of $12 million to the police budget after a $5 million increase from last year for pay raises and upgraded equipment. I'm strongly suggesting our legislation to push reallocation of those funds away from the police budget towards those executive offices and focus more on our human services within our community and help build up our community financially for increased sustainability for the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Chris Hines. I live in the Candler Park neighborhood, DeKalb County. Essentially, I would like to make it known that I would like for us to not allocate any more funds to the police department. I want us to increase the budgets to equity, diversity, inclusion, human trafficking, immigration, immigrant affairs, sustainability, and human services. And instead of increasing the budget for the police, another $12 million after a previous $5 million increase, I believe that we should cut their funds and allocate those increases that we've given them to those other community services that are helping people and not hurting people. So I appreciate you listening to my message. I hope you do consider it, and I hope that you hear many more messages like this today. Thank you. Bye.
Hi there, my name is Eva Arnold. I'm an Atlanta resident in District 2, zip code 3030306. And I am calling as another reminder to you as Atlanta City Council when you are reviewing the budget. I appreciate Jennifer Ike for passing legislation that would hold 50% of the community while you guys conduct a review of use of force and things like that. But I'm still here to put the pressure on to amplify what is still happening in the streets, what activists are saying, to defund the police and reallocate those resources to fund and demolish the city jail and reestablish and then fight for justice for the Black community in Atlanta. Our APD officers have called out and our city is safe. I think that is I think this weekend interesting will prove a point that we don't need a police force as funded as it has been. Please keep it up. Please do the right thing and don't let us down. Defund the police. Bye.
Hello, my name is Erica Hampson. I live in the Riverside neighborhood of Atlanta. And thank you for listening to my call. I just wanted to request for a defunding of the Atlanta Police Department, and for specifically those funds to be reallocated to Atlanta education. So I'd like to see a budget cut in the 2021 fiscal year budget by 50%. And also, my other request is for a closing of the Atlanta City Jail, specifically by July 1st. It's the Atlanta City Detention Center specifically. So those are my two requests. Thank you so much for looking into this. I think that these two actions will help us to achieve greater racial justice in our community. And those are the steps that I'd like to see taken. Thank you so much again for listening. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Vivian Zoe. I live in North Druid Hills, and I would like to ask you to not add $12 million to the police budget. Instead, defund the police and divest those millions of dollars into more worthwhile programs like human services and sustainability. I'm sure that lots of fellow residents in Atlanta agree, and I hope that you take our messages seriously and very seriously consider defunding the police. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, my name is Alex Bertolo. I am in Sandy Springs, and we absolutely need to defund the police so we have no more Black people being killed like we can see they have been for the past 400 years. So I'm asking you kindly to defund the police. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, my name is Courtney Farrell. I am calling in regards to the 2021 budget and asking that the high budget allocated to the police department be redispersed more throughout the community for community programs, health and wellness, mental health care. And I think it's very important in the time as we're setting budgets to make that sort of change and impact. And I believe it will help our community keep us more safe, less violent, and hope that you consider the reach out from the community when you're setting the 2021 budget, because it's very important that the budget where police isn't such a high percentage of the overall city budget. Thanks, and have a good day.
Hello, my name is Langston Geddes. I live in the North Druid Hills neighborhood of Atlanta. I'm calling about the budget proposal to increase the police budget for Atlanta Police Department. I am against increasing their budget and would actually like the police to be defunded, as the money could be better spent going to other offices and organizations that are preventative in nature instead of funding police. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michael Anderson. I am a resident of Atlanta. I live in Midtown, zip code 30309. This comment is about the new city budget being proposed that would cut $1.2 million from the executive offices, which contain offices of equity, diversity, inclusion, and human trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, and human services. And I would also like to voice opposition to the proposed additional $12 million to the police budget. I believe that as a concerned citizen that this is not going to serve our community well, and that we should reevaluate the allocation of police funds into other social service programs that are going to better serve our community instead of through criminalization and police enforcement. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Catherine Paul from Reynoldstown in Atlanta, Georgia, and I would like to make a comment asking you to defund the police budget, so not add that $12 million to the police budget, and to not cut the $1.2 million from the executive office's budget. So again, please defund the police and not cut that $1.2 million from the executive office. Thank you. That's all I ask.
Good morning. My name is Khalid Abdul. I am calling because I am against the proposal to add $12 million to the police budget. I know that last year $5 million was increased to that fund, and the latest action and past action of the police force in America, let alone in Atlanta, Georgia, has been disgusting. And as citizens of this country, I would like to see that type of money going to different services like diversity, inclusion, the inhuman trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, human services for our brothers and sisters that are less fortunate. Please consider and do the right thing.
My name is Kevin Hamuda, and I'm a resident of Summerhill. I'm calling today to ask that you defund the police and reallocate those resources to Atlanta pre-arrest diversion and other community-based resources. We see over and over again that reforms aren't working, and the Atlanta Police Department has failed to improve public safety. Instead, we see people being arrested for quality of life offenses and people being killed by the police without any accountability. I'm asking for justice for Alexia Christian, justice for Oscar Kane, justice for DeAndre Phillips, and those who have been killed by the police department, Atlanta Police Department, since 2017 under the leadership of Erica Shields. I'm further asking that Erica Shields be fired from the APD. We know that reallocating those resources will center people's humanity and allow people to thrive. Thank you.
Hi, this is Meredith Elder out of District 2 in Old Fourth Ward. I'm calling because I am past the point of concern as a citizen of Atlanta, and I am, as a citizen, demanding that y'all listen to the public and defund the police. That is what we want. There have been droves of people demanding that, and you are civil servants, so that's what I ask of you. And we know that it's possible. Out of the general budget, the police budget is astronomically huge, and that idea of adding more to that is just unexplainable. we're constantly told that we're defunding education and social services, and I really don't understand why we're not investing in preventative measures of crime. So I understand the concern with crime, but the whole thing that will be best for everyone is preventative measures, not violence after the fact. So please listen to your community. You are civil servants. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lily. I'm calling to remind the City Council that and Mayor Keisha Bottoms that the people of Atlanta, the American people, do not want to fund the police. We do not want a $13 million increase in their budget. We are fighting, marching, pleading for our voices to be heard. Prove to us that you stand with the American people and defund the police. The ATL police do not need $200 million in budget when so many other more effective and more essential departments are to receive budget cuts. Defund the police. Stand with citizens of Atlanta. Stand with America. Defund the police. We are watching the budget. We do not want you all to approve of a budget that continues to fund systematic racism, essentially. Defund the police. That's all we're asking.
Hi, my name is Emily Wyrock, and I live in Grant Park. I'm calling today to express my concern about the proposed increases in the budget for the Atlanta Police Department, especially with all of the racial injustice that's happening right now and the uprising and the recent killing by the APD of Rayshard Brooks. I believe that the Atlanta Police Department should be defunded instead of increased funding. I think in particular, you need to seriously consider ending participation in the GILLY program, the program where APD officers are trained by the Israeli government, a government that uses dangerous genocidal tactics against Palestinians and regularly commits human rights violations. And then the APD uses that to weaponize force against residents of Atlanta. So please consider reducing funding going to APD, and in particular ending the GILLY program. It is harmful. APD does not make me feel safe in this city, and I would feel much safer if that money went elsewhere. Thank you so much.
Rebecca Blanchett, I'd like to leave a public comment related to the budget, specifically regarding police funding. I believe that police should be demilitarized and funds diverted to social programs. Police in London do not carry guns except in special circumstances. Maybe if police aren't allowed to carry guns in the United States, we can finally get gun reform in this country. There can still be police presence without them having to carry lethal weapons. Thank you.
Hi, this is Andrew Van Deventer from the 2nd District. And I'm calling, like I'm sure many others are, to urge the city to defund the police. I think reforming is not enough. Looking at all the racial injustices that are happening right now, I would love for Atlanta to be on the bleeding edge of making the right decision. So thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kristen Cristaldi. I live in the Grant Park neighborhood. And for fiscal year 2021 budget concerns, I would definitely like to see the police disarmed, fire the people who are calling out to protest that people were rightly charged with murder, and hire new police that are not armed. Disarm the police. Do not increase their budget. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hi, I'm Veronica McCune. I live in Midtown. And I would like to ask that the budget for police departments does not get increased this year. In fact, I would ask that it is decreased and some of that money is reallocated to public things that benefit the public, like Parks and Rec, community engagement things, citizen review boards, and I know this meeting doesn't cover it, but what is left in the police
budget needs to be used very wisely, and there needs to be way more de-escalation training and take their weapons away, honestly. It's about time that we really start investing in our community more, and giving the police more money is not the way to do that. So, thank you for hopefully listening, and we'll see what happens.
Hello, my name is Sarah Lance, and I'm a resident in zip code 30324. I'm calling ahead of today's city budget meeting to request as a constituent of this council and a resident of this city that the 2021 dollars be divested from the police force and invested in community-based initiatives. These initiatives should address affordable housing, health care, and employment in our city. The fund should support the use of counselors and social workers, after-school programs, trauma services, and anti-violence programs that address the root of the problems that continue to result in police brutality. Funds should be redirected to provide services for mental health and programs for those who are homeless. The police force should be de-escalated immediately, as proven by the killing of Rayshard Brooks this past Friday by APD. I ask that you act swiftly to shift these budgets before Friday's vote and to get work immediately on the development of non-police solutions to the city's problems. Thank you.
Hello, this is Casey Hood, and I live in Grant Park in Atlanta, Georgia. And I just wanted to propose defunding the police. I would like to give more of that money to the executive offices, which contain equity and diversion and inclusion, ending human trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, and human resources mostly. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marva Bagger. I live in City Council District 1, and I am calling this morning because I find the use of unnecessary force and abuse of power within the Atlanta Police Department completely appalling. I initially supported the notion of increased funding for the 8 Can't Wait program, but the fact that Officer Rolfe had been recently trained in de-escalation tactics and cultural awareness, but still fatally shot Rayshard Brooks, is really all you need to know about the success or effectiveness of those programs. Please consider cutting the APD budget by 50% and also defund the Atlanta City Detention Center. Those funds would serve a higher purpose if allocated to reentry programs, low-income housing, mental health programs, and other social issues. Thank you so much for listening. Hi, my name is Abby Brands, and I live in Atlanta in Morningside. I'm calling to ask you to please reduce the police budget rather than add to it. In light of the unrest resulting recently, I think it's clear what the people of Atlanta want. We want more money allocated towards programs that aid, uplift, and empower Black people and others who are underprivileged or in need, rather than allocated towards the police system that continues to push them down. For instance, if we had an all-encompassing program to help the homeless, we'd likely see crime decrease in the streets, or if we had better education systems with access to professional counselors, we'd likely see youth crime rates go down in Atlanta. The police budget would better serve our community if rerouted to programs like these, in my opinion. Once again, this is what the people of Atlanta want. I hope you'll take my and many others' calls into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Hello, this is David Casarino. Please disarm the police and don't increase the budget. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Phoebe Harmon. I'm from Ormwood Park, and I am calling to urge the City Council to decrease or entirely defund the Atlanta Police Department in these incredibly troubling economic times. I know they're facing defunding our city schools, our parks, things that members of the community truly care about. And adding $12 million to the police budget at this time would be inadvisable and very insensitive to what is going on in the current climate. I hope that the City Council can see how important it is to maintain some of our less violent aspects of city funding and make sure that the money goes where it needs to be. These are our tax dollars. Thank you.
My name is Cassandra Maddox, and I'm a resident of Decatur, Georgia. I'm calling because I'm concerned about the Atlanta City Council's vote on the budget this morning, and I'm dissatisfied. Your proposal is cutting $1.2 million from the executive offices when actually you should be cutting funds from the police budget. You've already increased their budget from last year, and still problems persist. I demand you redirect funds to the offices of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and Human Trafficking, Immigrant Affairs, Sustainability, Human Services, especially benefit homeless services, and defund police, not just rearranging funds. I demand participatory city budgeting, divestment from criminalization, and investment in public health. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Lauren Schmuck. I live in Zone 2 of Atlanta, and I am concerned about the amount of money that goes towards our police, and with the light that has been shed on the amount of police brutality and the lack of accountability within the police department to hold officers with excessive force records to still be allowed on the streets. I feel that it is time for the police to be defunded, for training to be a major factor in how these policemen conduct themselves in the streets of Atlanta, because the level of force and death that have come from our policemen towards the Black community is deeply disturbing. And I would like to see reform and less money be given to a group of people that are not there to protect and serve. They're there to show power and to dominate our citizens. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matt Dvorak. I'm a resident of the Old Fourth Ward, and I've been emailing my council representative in regards to the budget talks going on this weekend, and I implore you to defund the police and reallocate that money towards community resources. I know from talking to Amir that this is not going to happen right away, but I think we need to make more significant strides towards abolition, not just reform. I think Atlanta can be the exception, so we can be the example, but we actually have to do it. So thank you for all your hard work. Please do better. Please stand up for Black Americans and Black Atlantans, and let's reallocate that money where it can be used. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Madeline Teisler, and I'm calling from the Lake Claire neighborhood. I'm calling to ask that the budget for the executive offices, in addition to the budget for education and for special needs services for people with autism, not be cut in the way that they have been cut, and that the police be cut, budget be cut instead. Thank you very much. I think if we want a more just society, these are changes that in funding that we're going to need to make moving forward so that people feel well taken care of. Thank you.
Hi, this is Claire Peterman. I live in Reynoldstown in Atlanta. I'm calling about the budget, which is going through today, and I just wanted to express my deep disappointment with y'all and your handling of the situation so far. You have done nothing to support Black and Brown communities or Black and Brown bodies that exist in your city. The city and country were literally built by people, and your lack of regard for their lives, which you've shown time and time again through gentrification, through police brutality, through numerous other types of violence, has just been deeply disappointing. And I really hope that y'all will consider standing on the right side of history, reallocate funds from policing to education to pandemic response. Be who you say that you are. Thank you.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for taking my comment. My name is Julie Jacobson. I live in Fulton County, City of Atlanta, in 30306. I am a white woman, and I wanted to leave my comment, bottom line, regarding the city funding of the police department with regard to the budget. And for me, I believe that the funding and percentage should be less than the current state. My understanding is going to be more, but I believe it should be less. I'm not sure about the funding. I have to educate myself better, but I definitely definitely believe the funding should be less than it is now. Like many people, I've been horrified, exhausted, quite frankly stupefied by the ongoing racial and human injustice at the hands of and within the realm of the so-called literal public defenders, the police department, and in great support of tremendous change, and believe the monies instead should be allocated to community-based programs regarding public safety, rehabilitation, mental health issues, education. Of course, those are to be determined. We don't have the answers now. But again, I believe the police department should be receiving less funding than it currently is now, not more, and these monies should be reallocated to community-based programs. Again, thank you for taking my comment, and be safe.
Hello, my name is Iris Scherer. I live in Cameron Park, and I'm calling in to defund the police. There's too much money going towards the police. It needs to be cut in half, and the money allocated to community resources and public art resources. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lila Icusack. I live at 4890 Avila Park Lane, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. I'm calling because I think there should be a defundation of the police. The treatment of police by black people is unacceptable. You giving more money to the police to solve the issue does not solve the problem. The problem is there's no discipline for cops to do bad things. Nothing is done. So giving them more money for more training solves no problem at all unless you have proper recommendations for police who abuse their powers. Thank you. Bye.
Good morning. My name is LeBaron Sims. I live in Grant Park, zip code 30312. And I'm calling because I'm tired of reading the AJC every morning and seeing stories like Rayshard Brooks. Stories about a lawless team of public officials that are endowed with the power to maim, to steal, and to kill with impunity. Stories about how public services and Atlanta public schools are slashing their spending. Community-centered organizations are making magic happen with pennies on the dollar, but Atlanta Police Department's budget keeps growing. And why? Like, we're no black Mecca when the white household income is more than double the black. And the literal boundaries of education and opportunity are enforced with brutal and coercive means like we've seen on display for the last few weeks, months on end, and for years on end. So I'm asking you to invest in our children through public education, through broadband access, and through providing food services to all. To invest in our communities by funding public services, by feeding, clothing, and housing the homeless, and by centering diversity and equity for all Atlantans, especially our transgender, immigrant, and undocumented neighbors. And I ask you to do that by taking the $12 million that you've earmarked for Atlanta Police Department and whatever else is allocated toward them, and putting that money where it matters and where it works. I'm asking you to please divest from Atlanta Police, to defund Atlanta Police, because they are failing at keeping us safe, they're harming us, they're killing us, and we deserve better. Let's build a safer future where every Atlantan is given grace and treated with dignity, and our solutions come from a place of love, not a place of brutality, unchecked power, force, and fear. Defund Atlanta Police.
Hello, my name is Jake Krakowski. I'm a lifelong Atlantan and current resident of the 5th District. I'm calling to urge the council to cancel the $12 million increase in the police budget, cancel these $500 bonuses for officers that was recently announced by Mayor Bottoms. The people of Atlanta don't want more money going to a bloated police budget where the police have served as nothing more than an occupying force on Atlanta citizens, and specifically its black citizens, its disabled citizens, its trans citizens. People in Atlanta want the police be funded. People of Atlanta, myself, and every single person I talk to, we want the money taken away from the police and put towards the types of social services that actually benefit our city, that actually make our people safe. That money towards increasing sustainability practices, put that that money toward social services to support those experiencing homelessness. Put that money towards reinvesting in communities that have been devastated by racist practices like redlining and over-policing. Put that money towards better funding our egregiously under-supported public schools. Put that money towards public health care. Nobody wants more money going to these cops. We saw just days ago cops walking off the job in protest because the officer who shot Rayshard Brooks in the back was charged for what he did. That is so revealing. It shows that the culture of policing is one in which if cops don't have the freedom to terrorize black people at will, then they're going to walk off the job. We see what they are. We don't want them in their city. We don't want our tax dollars going to fund.
Hi, this is Mira Walker. I live in Edgewood, inside Atlanta. I'm calling because I would like to show my support for divestment and the APB and its criminalization, militarization, and GILEE training. It is not good for our community any longer, and we need to shift those funds to invest in public health. This could mean mental health, park programs, food insecurities, workforce planning, gun reduction programs. And, you know, it's great to see more people involved in the budget at this point in the last hour, but, you know, maybe getting people involved earlier in the budgeting process would be more helpful, so more transparency in your budgeting process from the beginning, not just at the end during public meetings. Thank you for listening.
Yes, this is Dr. Naomi Woodspring, and I am commenting on the proposed increase for the police budget. I find it appalling in light of the recent events. What the City Council should be looking at is a decrease in funding rather than cutting diversity programs, programs that are essential to this city and to solving the problem of not only systemic racism, but police brutality. This increase in budget not only is unwarranted and just a poor decision, it is critical that the city of Atlanta looks at how to solve their problems in terms of police brutality and systemic racism. An increase in the budget will go nowhere in terms of solving those problems and will actually exacerbate them. Thank you very much, and I hope that the city makes the right decision, the City Council. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Julia Williams. I live in Arlington Midtown, and I'm calling to ask you to defund the police.
Hi, my name is William Newton. I'm from the Old Fourth Ward, and I want to complain about the proposed $12 million police budget raise. There's absolutely no reason they should get more money. I don't imagine them having more buses to haul away protesters in peaceful protests, and I can't imagine them having more guns for tear gas. Instead, I would much rather give the City of Atlanta divert these funds to public works, things such as the Department of Equity, the pre-arrest diversion programs within the city, and community control programs. Also, there should absolutely be a new hiring process for the chief of police. I do not want the City of Atlanta deciding that without any kind of consultation from the community. Thank you very much. Hope you do the right thing.
Hey, my name is Catherine Carter. I appreciate this opportunity to comment. What I find strange is that you plan to increase the police department allocation in this next budget while all of the other areas, many of the other areas are going to be cut. It seems like this is really not the time to increase the police budget by 5.9% or whatever. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.
Hi, this is Jamie Gottlieb of Fulton County. Thanks to the council members for listening to my comment. Been recently made aware about the budget cuts, $1.2 million to the executive offices, which which allow incredibly important public health services, including equity, diversity, inclusion, human trafficking, fighting, immigration affairs, sustainability, and student services. While at the same time are looking to add an additional $12 million to the police budget. I think this city needs to rethink where it puts its resources, and I am appalled that right now you would cut funding to those essential services and yet continue to fund and add more resources to a system that does not serve its people. Again, my name is Jamie Gottlieb from Fulton County. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Laura Mora in Home Park, and I'm calling about the proposed city budget. I can't understand how you're even thinking of increasing the police budget while decreasing the one for the executive offices, which have a much greater positive impact. We need to defund the police and reallocate that money to programs that support all people. We also need justice for our people, and we need to hold accountable all the police officers that take part in killing regular citizens. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Ruby Yu. I want to remind the City Council and Mayor Keisha Bottoms once more that we, the American people and citizens of Atlanta, demand the defunding of the police. You all think this is too radical. Remember that there was a time when abolishing slavery was too radical. Remember that there was a time where having women, specifically women of color like me, vote too radical. If you all choose to continue funding the systematic racism and embedded racism by supporting the violent, terrorizing police that we've all seen, attacking protesters for using their First Amendment right, you are all ignorantly choosing to be on the wrong side of history. It's like having an open note test and failing. Defund the police.
My name is Devin Daniels. I stay in Adamsville, District 10. I'm calling to demand that you defund the police. This is ridiculous. Y'all shouldn't be putting up such a fight to add money to a system that does not need money. We need you to defund the police and reallocate the resources to many of the other areas that are needing it. Housing, mental health, education, all those places need far more than the police. We also demand that you demolish the jail, and it is not helping fix any problems. It just exacerbated them. Prison does not help people get any better. It only makes them worse. And we demand justice for the people. Like, you all have not been serving us, and it's about time that you did. Act in our best interest, not in your own. That's all.
Hi, this is Tom Fatora. I live in Reynoldstown. I am calling today to ask the City Council to defund the police. It is ridiculous what this budget looks like. I see that you guys want to cut $1.2 million from the executive offices, which is the offices that handle equity, diversity, and inclusion, immigrant affairs, sustainability, human services, which is stuff like homeless service, which is, in our city we need more money to help the homeless. We have a homeless problem, and those people could really use some help. And I see that you want to add $12 million to the police budget, which is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. We need services that help people. We need actual services that are non-violent, non-caring services that answer calls, that go to help dispute mental health cases, not just people with guns showing up and abusing people. So please do the right thing. Thank you.
Hi, this is Taryn Lashinsky. I'm calling from Summerhill, and I'm calling to ask you to defund the police. I do not want another $12 million going to the police when they got a $5 million raise last year. I would love those awards or that money to be reallocated to departments like human services and sustainability. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Caroline Ches, and I live in Midtown in Atlanta. I'm
I'm calling to say that reimagining the police is simply not enough. We are calling to have you defund our police. And what that might look like is that the city of Atlanta should establish a reimagining public safety plan, creating a 5 to 7 year plan to dismantle the Atlanta Police Department and build a new community-based, community-controlled public safety system. The fiscal year 2021 budget should definitely be cut by 50%, reducing APD's scope of work, starting with relieving officers from all forms of quality of life policing. We are also asking that you defund and demolish the jail, and the jail should be closed on or before July 1st. We are also asking justice for all of our people. We ask that you reopen investigations into all APD killings since 2007 and develop a community tribunal to assess the use of force and take steps to hold APD officers accountable. That starts with firing the officers who killed Alexia Christian, who failed to follow policy and procedure, those who also killed Oscar Kane, who failed to turn on their body cameras in accordance with APD policy, and those who also killed DeAndre Phillips, who failed to follow policy and procedure. We also ask that you fire Erica Shields from the APD. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
My name is Seth Brown. I wanted to leave my comments in regards to the city budget. I am in full support of a move to defund our police department. And I think it's quite ridiculous that our police budget takes up almost a third of the city's entire budget. And I think that that money could be much better allocated in other social programs or in education or public housing. Plenty of other things that could be used for other than militarized police to police the people. It's our budget. It's the people's budget. You're just working on it. So make it reflect what we believe and listen to the people. That's my comment. Thank you.
My name is Savannah Weaver. I'm of Belvedere Park in Decatur, Georgia. And I am asking that you please defund the police and please do not cut the $1.2 million from the executive offices. Please put this money back into sustainability to end human trafficking, to healthcare, and to education. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nicole Call, and I'm an employee of the Atlanta Public School System, and I implore you to change the budget and to lower the amount of money that you are giving to the police department and give that fund to the education department. Our teachers in Atlanta Public Schools have to pay for their own supplies. Meanwhile, we have police officers in riot gear attacking civilians. Why is this happening? Why can I not afford the things for my classroom, but your police department can afford to attack its own citizens? That doesn't make any sense. That does not add up. If you really care about the citizens of Atlanta, you will move funds from the police department to the education department. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brand Hauska, and I'm a constituent in District 9 in Riverside. I am calling because I think that we need to defund the police. I do not understand why that is such a radical idea. I think it's more radical to train someone for one job and expect them to do 20 jobs. To put that into perspective, I would like to read this testimony of a former cop. My job as a police officer required me to be a marriage counselor, mental health crisis professional, conflict negotiator, social worker, child advocate, traffic safety expert, child assault, sexual specialist, and every once in a while a public safety officer authorized to use force. I just don't think that that is appropriate. I think that we need to have appropriately trained people responding to calls and reallocate funds. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carrie Lorig, and I live in Sylvan Hills, and I'm calling to ask that the City Council defund APD and instead fund our communities I would also like to call for the end of cash bail and demand APD and collaboration with Fulton County and Ray Street Jail. I hope you will defund the police. That is what the people of Atlanta want.
Hi, my name is Jessica Fair, and I live in Venetian Hills. I'm calling to support the defunding of the police and not move forward with the pay increase and general additional funding. First of all, I'm not happy at all with the work of, not at all. I am happy with the work of the police, but I do not believe that under any circumstance people should be shot or killed. It's just really in a state of disgrace, and it's not working for anyone. It's taking away people's livelihood unjustly, and the justice system is no longer just. So I expect each and every one of you to consider the lives of Atlantans that you are here to support and reconsider for a more holistic approach. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chase Halsey. I live in Reynoldstown. I'm calling to express my support for the demands of Black organizations to defund APD. Police reforms have proven ineffective, and the strategy should be to divest from the police and reinvest in community programs and services that can actually support a flourishing and safer community. Thank you.
Hey, my name's Abby. I'm reluctant to leave my last name, actually, because I don't trust the government, the police, the situation at all in any way, shape, or form, which I think is a reflection of why I'm leaving this comment. It's so hard to put into words in 2 minutes exactly what I think is wrong with APD and how police brutality and systemic racism is being handled in our hometown, not just across the country. But I guess the only perspective that I can really offer is I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've got 5 years sober. I did a lot of work to get sober and to not use substances for 5 years. And I can't lie and say that before these 5 years, as a white woman, I haven't passed out at many public places in my vehicle. That I wasn't dropped off at my car, or that I didn't drive drunk, and that I didn't get in trouble purely and simply because of my white privilege, let alone be murdered. I think that defund the police means, putting money back into the communities, making sure that there's accessible rehabilitation centers, that education, that healthcare is better in these poor, broken communities that systemic racism has left poor and broken. But also, this means training actual, healthcare workers and social workers to handle DUI situations so that people don't get killed for doing something that I have done, before I got sober numerous occasions just because they're Black. This officer had an issue to begin with. Why was he still holding? It's just such a broken system. And it's past the point of fixing. It just needs to be rebuilt. So anyway, I don't trust you enough to give you my last name, but my first name's Abby. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Nick Sturm. I live in Sylvan Hills in Southwest Atlanta. I'm calling to request that you defund the Atlanta Police Department and move that funding into equity, diversity and inclusion, stopping human trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, and human services, including homeless services. Please do not increase the police budget, turn around, defund the police, and really think about what the priorities of our city are. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shanika White, and I am a resident of West Midtown in District 3. And I wanted to leave the comment that the current plans to reimagine the police are not enough, and to really make the proposal for defunding APD and reallocating those resources to more community-based organizations and like specifically to reduce the budget for APD and reduce their scope of work, as well as to demolish the prison in a timely manner. Thank you for listening to my thoughts.
Hello, my name is Lee Du. I live in Grant Park. I'd like to make a comment in regards to the Atlanta city budget. I believe that we should defund the police, and a larger share of the budget should go to schools, libraries, social services, mental health services. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marissa Hanna, and I am calling to demand a few things from the Atlanta City Council. First of all, I would like to ask for divestment from criminalization and instead invest in public health. We need signature bonds and needs assessments in first appearance court. We need to end cash bail. I'm also asking to end participation in the GILEE, G-I-L-E-E, a program that trains APD. And I'm also demanding that APD, in collaboration with Fulton County and Rice Street Jail, as well as just defunding the police by at least half. And we need to instead allocate that money to other places such as schools and public health organizations, COVID testing. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chloe Emch, and I live in the Buckhead area. And I think that the FY 2021 trying to be passed is absolutely a disgrace. And you need to defund the police. I will not stand for anything other than that, especially if you're trying to give $10 million to the police. That is obviously not what we need right now. And it's going to lead to more people being angry. And we cannot take $1.2 million away from all of those things that need more help. You guys need to focus on what really matters. And as a female, I feel scared for my life about the future of this world. And I don't understand why no one is assessing what really matters. And right now we do need to defund the police, because what is going on right now is racism. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catherine Iberman. I live in Zone 2 in Atlanta. I'm calling about the FY 2021 budget, and here's what I would like to see happen. Defund the police, reallocate those resources to the community, defund and demolish the jail, and fire the APD officers who killed Alexia Christian, Oscar Kane, and DeAndre Phillips. Thank you.
This is Vincent Ford. I want to say that the Atlanta City Council and the mayor ought not to give the increase of $12 million to the Atlanta Police Department. They ought to hold it or sequester it until the Atlanta Police Department cooperates with the Citizen Review Board. Everything that is being proposed for the Citizen Review Board by executive order and ordinance may be okay, but until the mayor and the police chief say explicitly that the police department and its rank and file must comply and must buy into the Citizen Review Board, all that will be for naught. In the cities where Citizen Review Boards are successful, it's because the leadership of the city and the rank and file have bought into the process. The Citizen Review Board right now is a paper tiger. It's a joke in the community, and that's because they know that the police department can obstruct and circumvent their attempts to make recommendations and for the police department to comply with their recommendations. The city ought to follow the Philadelphia model. This week, the Philadelphia City Council did not give $19 million increase to their police department and put $33 million, that 19 plus another 14, into affordable housing. That's what Atlanta ought to do in the memory of Richard Brooks. That ought to be done in the memory of Brother Brooks and in the memory of all those in Atlanta who've been the object of police misconduct and brutality.
Robert Murray. I live in Ormwood Park. If it helps paint the picture, I'm in my 40s. I own a house. I'm a union member. I just wanted to voice, I understand that the budget hearing, there's proposed $12 million added to the police budget. I feel like that's completely in the wrong direction. I support defunding the police. Speaking as a father of two, I do not feel safer having police have even more money in this city. Anyway, I hope you guys take my thoughts into consideration. Have a good day.
Hello, my name is Autumn Lizard. I'm from East Point, Georgia, living in East Atlanta Village. I would like to tell the City Council that reimagining the police is not enough. We need half of their budget, if not the entire budget, to include our social services in the city in terms of housing, in terms of nutrition. We need to support the foster care children that don't have enough support right now. It's vital that we, create more homeless shelters with dignity, as well as support movements like Mad Hazard, who are building temporary single-unit shelters for homeless individuals in the time of coronavirus. Investing any more money into the police and policing is antithetical to the idea of, an end to slavery that we had in the 1860s. When people get put into the system, it makes them more vulnerable to prison labor, and you know it. And you need to stop the flow. You need to make it more expensive to lock people up than to help them be free, because right now there's a real incentive for our cops in our communities to be in jail instead of free, functioning, and whole, restored members of society. So please diminish this budget as small as you can make it and invest in our community and not cages. Have a great day, and thank you for doing the right thing if you do.
Hi, my name is Mary Popplewell. I live in Fulton County. I'm calling to ask you to please defund the police. And additionally, please do not cut $1.2 million from equity, diversity, and inclusion, human rights trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, and human services. Any of those executive offices assisting in those. And please do not give any additional money to the police, and please defund what you can. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Steinbrugge. I live in Georgia. I'm calling today to ask on the police. Today, we're talking about the proposal to add money to the police budget, but I'm here today to ask you not to add without advocating programs, other programs that will address trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, human services. Those are programs affording and putting enough into our police who are not working. Reform is not working. Please defend the police and support the programs that we need in the community. Again, my name is Becky Steinberg. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Aquila Salou. I'm a student at GSU, and reading the budget proposal that is cutting money from human services and adding $2 million to the police budget is absolutely unacceptable. Please consider defunding the police department and redistributing those funds into public services that actually help the community. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Joseph Lopez, and I'm calling to ask to reallocate funds to the city departments from the reallocate police funds to defund the police and reallocate their funds to city departments such as executive offices, parks and recreation, city planning, public works, etc. That's what I'm really looking for. Defund the police and reallocate those funds to social workers and civil workers and people who actually help and aren't killing people. Thank you so much, and I yield my time. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Frances Dietrich. I'm a resident of Midtown, Georgia, 30309. I want to call and leave a comment on the proposed $12 million increase to the police budget for fiscal year 2021 and the $1.2 million reduction of the executive office budget. I absolutely do not think that we need to be funding sending additional funding to our police budget, and instead need to redirect significant portions of that proposed budget back to the executive office with focus on equity, diversity, inclusion, human trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, and human services with a focus on ending homelessness. Thank you so much for your consideration, and I will be watching this budget proposition closely. Thank you.
I'm Sarah Giannini. I live in Westview neighborhood, District 10 in Fulton County. I'm calling today to ask you to defund the police. This force is a bloated and tired system that demands defunding. EPD and policing in general have proven to be a racist and unfair system that abuses its power to harass, kill, and arrest the Black community, minorities, and LGBTQ. Please consider reallocating the policing funds towards public health and social services. Please defund the police. How many Black people have to die before something's done? Please consider defunding the police. These police officers don't deserve a raise. It's just a broken system that needs to be changed.
Hello, my name is Temesgen Isaac. I live in East Lake Decatur, and I would like to see several changes in the proposed budget that we have here. I would like for our police officers to change their uniforms from what they have now, which is a military type uniform, to some more plain clothes, blending in with our citizens with a completely new logo, getting rid of the military type insignia we have now, and having something done by a local artist representing Atlanta and our unity here. I want to train these new service officers that would not be even referred to as police anymore, to be able to engage with any type of person, increase the requirements for the job, not to deal with.
Hello, my name is Chelsea Jenkins. I'm a resident of the East Lake community. I'm calling to implore the City Council to divest in the police force and to reinvest those funds in the community and education. I heard the general meeting on Monday and heard Mayor Bottoms discuss the need of those funds for our body cameras. However, the police officers who murdered Rayshard Brooks were wearing body cameras, so I don't believe those funds are being used well, and I don't believe it's going to help the murder of our Black citizens. So please divest in the police. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Callan Coburn and I live in Midtown. I'm calling about the budget for the fiscal year of 2021. And I want to say that the addition of $12 million to the police budget is insane. Those resources absolutely need to be allocated elsewhere. We've seen in the past weeks, months, years that our police force is not equipped to handle all of the things that they've been asked to do, and instead cutting budgets to equity, diversity, inclusion, and human trafficking, immigrant affairs, sustainability, human services, which has social programs like homeless services. Those are all organizations that if you fund will decrease need for police presence. So it seems absolutely ridiculous that you would give any more money to the police. They have plenty of supplies. They have everything they need, whereas the communities that they are supposedly serving are greatly under-resourced. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kara Foster. I am a resident of the Old Fourth Ward. I'm just calling about the budget increase that's been proposed for the police this year. I think the police should be defunded and we should reallocate that money to different services. For example, human services that handles homelessness, and that's a major problem in Atlanta. And if we, instead of arresting these people, we could set up programs to help them, and we wouldn't need to give this money to the cops. I think there's a lot better programs that we could be investing that type of money in rather than giving raises to police officers who haven't really assisted us in reducing the amount of crime in Atlanta. When we could be investing in programs that are effective at actually reducing problems in the city. Thank you very much, and I hope you defund the police. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Madeline Dyke, and I live in Edgewood. I just wanted to submit my comment to let you all know that I would like to see a shift away from the amount of funding currently allocated for the police, and would like to see it instead being tied to community services, whether it's an exploratory committee or an additional committee that's able to evaluate what that shift looks like. I think that it's important to demonstrate that, especially given how well funded the police appear. I understand we need to cover pay, but at the same time, we also need to fund our schools and also need to help with mental health services and find a better way. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your effort to explore this. But it is something that we need to see action on. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jocelyn Oliphant, and I am from Atlanta. I'm asking that you defund the Atlanta Police Department. Again, my name is Jocelyn Oliphant from Atlanta, asking that we defund the police department. Thank you.
Earlier this week, my name is Dale Jakes. I'm resident of the district. Earlier this week, multiple police officers performed a walkout, kind of proving that they are willing to abandon their job. They really do believe that they are the heroes that are putting their lives on the line. They wouldn't have abandoned their post in protest of somebody killing somebody else. I don't think they deserve any more of our money. I really do believe that this money could be budgeted better. Please don't increase Atlanta's police budget. I think we can have a better imagination for the way we use our money in Atlanta. Thanks so much for your time. Have a good day.
What's up, y'all? My name's Ashley Anderson, and I live in the Cabbagetown neighborhood. Before I moved here, I lived in Mechanicsville for about 2 years, and it didn't take me long living in Mechanicsville to realize that there was a drastic disparity of caretaking between Mechanicsville and Inman Park, where I was still working. I feel like more money needs to be spent on those public spaces, but also on the people living in those spaces in the southwest of Atlanta, without involving developers, because that's a whole different bag. I don't think they're necessary for this whole problem. I think, though, that the money for those investments can come from defunding the Atlanta Police Department. Over the past few weeks, I've watched videos and listened to eyewitness accounts by friends of really vicious attacks and unnecessary violence on the part of the Atlanta Police Department during all these protests. And to me, to my mind, it doesn't make any sense to give these people more money. They need less money. I think that if our goal is to work towards a society where police aren't necessary, let's start making those investments today. This is a great time to do that. I mean, you saw things were cooling off for a little while, kind of, and then this cop killed Richard Brooks like a week ago. So let's work towards that kind of stuff not happening anymore. That'd be great. I guess that's all I really got to say. Rest in peace, Richard Brooks. He just wanted to walk home and see his daughter for her birthday the next day, and this cop killed him. So let's take their money
Hi, my name is Lauren Dye, and I live in Grant Park, 30312. I wanted to request that you guys are reviewing the budget that money is divested from the police budget and invested specifically in community programs or towards the executive offices. Thank you guys, and I look forward to hearing how things turn out. Hi, my name is Lauren Dye, and I live in Grant Park, 30312. I wanted to request that you guys are reviewing the budget that money is divested from the police budget and invested specifically in community programs or towards the executive offices. Thank you guys, and I look forward to hearing how things turn out.
Hi, my name is Logan Bramer. I live here in Atlanta in Zone 6. And I'm just calling today to demand that the City Council begin defunding the police. I've seen that they plan to increase police budget by upwards of $12 million, including giving every police officer a raise. I think this is completely unacceptable, as the APD has continuously failed our community year after year, most recently by tear gassing and shooting rubber bullets at protesters who are simply trying to make their voice heard against police brutality, and then by murdering a man, Rayshard Brooks, by shooting him in his back. Murderers do not deserve raises. They deserve to get fired. They deserve to go to jail and be charged. Everyone that walked out also... Everyone that walked out to defend him should lose their job too. Their job is not to murder people, it's to protect and serve, and they're doing a terrible job at it, and they don't need any more money, and they should give the money to education, housing, and if you want to actually stop crime, do things about it. Don't criminalize everything, and don't shoot black people in the back. Thank you very much.
My name is Erin Ryan, and I live in Midtown. I just want to tell the City Council that reimagining the police is not enough, and we want reform. We don't want defunding. So the police should be defunded and the funds redistributed to things like education, our library system, and solutions to fight climate change. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Becca Steinberge. I'm from Reynoldstown in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm calling today to ask you to defund the police. I understand that you're voting today to add more budget to the police. Reform is not working, and we've seen that. In fact, it's become very problematic. We need your help to vote in the right direction. Vote for the programs that will help our community, everyone in our community, not just those that have more access to resources. Please vote to defund the police. Please vote to give more budget to those programs that can help our communities, like diversity and inclusion. Programs that will help reduce homelessness, and other programs that will help our community, especially those in need. They need you. We need you. Thank you so much. My name is Becca Steinberge. Really appreciate it. Bye.
Hi, my name is JJ Posway, and I just wanted to call and leave a message because I don't believe that reimagining the police is going to be enough. I think that we should be defunding the APD and putting together a 5 to 7 year plan to dismantle them and build a new community-based, community-controlled public safety system, as well as demilitarizing the police. Thanks for your time.
Hello, my name is Lisa Floyd. I work in the West End, or West Side rather, near Georgia Tech. I am calling because the City Council needs to defund police because historically the police in America, and specifically the police in Atlanta, have taken away from funds that could be utilized to solve the very problems that they perpetuate and create. So instead of tearing down homeless shelters, we can build up resources to eliminate homelessness in our city instead of having police perpetuate the idea that Black people are dangerous by violently obstructing all of the things that make it possible to do better in this city. I think it's dangerous to have them, period. and they don't need to be reformed. There's no reforming something so inherently evil. It needs to be defunded, and that funding needs to be reallocated into organizations and institutions that are doing the work that police officers and the police force cannot and will not do on their own.
Hello, this is Kelly Eulis, and I am calling in reference to the budget meeting that you guys are voting on today. My husband has been with Atlanta for 20 years as a sergeant with the police department. And I just want to remind you guys that we work together very well, along with the IBPO, on legislation to move forward with the raises for those officers, those in service who have not gotten their raises that were promised, who have been waiting for 3 years. This has nothing to do with anything that is going on right now in the current climate. This has everything to do with officers or sergeants who were promised certain things and have stayed on and stayed loyal and kept coming in and stayed around because they were told that this would happen. I am urging you to consider the ramifications if you do not follow through with this and what it would mean to those families who put their lives on the line, who work these 12-hour shifts, cancel days off, and do that with absolutely, no problem at all. I just want to have my voice heard, and I thank you very much.
This is Kat Turner. I live in the historic Capitol View neighborhood. Atlanta is the birthplace of the civil rights movement. We need to be on the forefront of change. Policing is not broken. This system is rooted in racism, and it works exactly as it was designed to work. We need to defund the Atlanta Police Department and reallocate the resources. We need to defund and demolish the jail. And we need justice for everyone, but especially for Black people who are disproportionately targeted by police. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Roberta Moore. I live in Councilmember Faroki's District 2. I'm calling to tell City Council and Mayor Bottoms that reimagining and reforming the police is not enough. We have tried police reform for years with no meaningful progress in reducing police violence and brutality. I'm imploring Council and the Mayor to defund the police, meaning actively prevent the APD from continuing to receive funds. Please give these funds instead to departments with greater need and that are much better equipped to actually improve quality of life for Atlantans and provide public services that truly work in the interest of public safety. Thank you.
Hi, this is Chantel Hunter from Tucker, Georgia. I'm a teacher and a parent, and I think that we should defund the police department, the APD, and use that money to invest in our community and better sources for our citizens. Thank you.
This is Lisa Floyd. I work on the west side in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm calling to prompt the City Council to defund the police and the police force. In doing so, all of the money that is allocated to police officers and to the police force in Atlanta can be reallocated to organizations and institutions who are doing the work to dismantle all of the things that people in the police force are trying to police. So instead of criminalizing homelessness, that money can be utilized to help people who are undergoing homelessness find resources and rehabilitate them into spaces where they are contributing to society. Instead of criminalizing small issues such as marijuana possession, which is now again under scrutiny, instead of criminalizing people of color for marijuana possession, again, making it possible for these individuals to not have to rely on that by providing resources in their community that they're not forced to elicit bad behavior. It is not about criminalizing people for the things that they do. It's about creating resources and accessibility so that they have a choice. And right now, the way that the money is disproportionately given to the police force, there's no way that they being the people in the community, can actually have access to resources that they desperately and deservedly need.
Hi, my name is Michelle Yang. I am a constituent of Councilman Amir Faroukhi's. I am calling to make a public comment to ask that you support defunding the police, which, as you know, includes more than just taking funding from the police, but instead funneling that funding towards actually helpful and constructive methods of reform in our local areas. So that would include funneling that funding into social work and having more first responders who are trained in mental health, and only having a small, minimal police force that may be required to handle anything that would require use of force. As you know, generally, most calls for the police are for, say, car accident reports or mental health and wellness checks. Most of them are not for people waving a gun around. So I really don't see any reason why we need a militarized police force, especially given how they've walked out and abandoned the city now. And to be honest, it doesn't seem like any more crime is happening than usual. I haven't felt more threatened. I haven't felt any less safe. Arguably, I would say I felt more safe since the police have walked out on the job, which proves the point, I believe, that there is very little reason to continue funneling massive amounts of funding into APD and into, for example, GSU's international policing. This kind of funding is unneeded and wasteful, and I ask you to please reconsider defunding the police. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Brinkley. I am a constituent from District 12 in East Atlanta, and I am calling to urge the City Council to remove the increase of funds from the Atlanta Police Department from their fiscal year 2021 budget, specifically to immediately reduce the budget by 50% and immediately relieve officers from all forms of quality of life policing and redirect these funds toward community initiatives. I think that it should be reallocated to alternatives and community-based resources, including the Department of Equity diversion programs, such as pre-arrest diversion and other community control programs. I also believe that the hiring process for a new police chief should not begin until a community-based council can be formed to review the Atlanta Police Department scope of work and disperse hiring decision-making power across the community review committee. I also urge you to decrease the officer-to-resident ratio and demilitarize the Atlanta Police Department through reviewing the use of riot gear, chemical and gas equipment, and lethal weapons use. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matt Smith, and I live in Grant Park, and I'm calling because the City Council needs to immediately fund the police department, and reimagining policing in the city is not nearly enough. They should be defunded and resources allocated toward a community-based public safety system. They should cut the 21 budget by 50% and start by relieving officers from the vast scope of work and move to a quality of life policing. The Atlanta City Detention Center should also be closed by July 1st, 2020. ensure the resources are allocated to demolish the building and commit to doing that by September. Adopt a reimagining ACDC task force policy recommendations, and all of the police killings since 2017 should be investigated, and all of the officers should be charged in the killings of Alexia Christian, Oscar Kane, DeAndre Phillips, and Rayshard Brooks. Erica Shields should also be fired from the police department, and nothing should happen with the hiring of a new police chief until the community-based council can be reformed and review the APD scope of work. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, my name is Madison Hawkins. I'm a resident of Decatur, Georgia, and I am calling city council members to speak my piece on the 2020 fiscal year budget upcoming. I have noticed that there is over $200 million being allocated to the Atlanta Police Department. This is over 30% of the budget total, and I am calling because it is time for us to defund the police, not only defund but abolish the police, but we'll get to that. I am calling for the $200 million to be reallocated to all of the other departments that are listed within the fiscal year budget. So some of those include city planning, some of those include the city council team. That's you guys. Don't you guys want more money? Department of Finance, Parks and Rec, Public Works. And I also noticed that there is only about $300,000 going to grants for the community. That should absolutely have millions and millions and millions and millions of more dollars within it. And I think my piece. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hi, my name is Anishka Johnsoy. I am a resident of Fulton County. I live in the Morningside neighborhood. I was calling because I heard that you're trying to add $12 billion to the police budget. I think that is not really necessary at this time. I think we need to put it towards other important things in society like education, healthcare. So basically, I would say defund the police, which is not just simply abolish them. It means to reallocate money that you would put towards them to other social services because they are way more important at this point in time. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, my name is Camila Salvador. I reside in the Great Park neighborhood in Atlanta, and I am calling that to ask the city of Atlanta to defund the police. I believe that the funds that are currently allocated for the police can be better served in different areas, such as city planning. And also, it come to my attention that certain community service have been cut, such as human services, international affairs, sustainability, and human trafficking ATL, which are all really important and essential services to keeping our communities safe, our communities in a good place, rather than funding the police even more, who cause violence, participate in brutality, and disproportionately put Black folks in jail. Please consider this. Thanks so much. Bye.
Hello, my name is Chloe Turner. I live in Castleberry Hill. I'm calling in regard to the new budget for 2021. And I'm asking that you all take seriously the demands of the people to defund the police. And when we say defund the police, we actually mean it. I am calling for the resignation of Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms for her unwavering support for the police and putting her constituents at risk every day. I am also asking that you establish a reimagining public safety plan and create a 5 to 7 year plan to dismantle APD and build a new community-based and community-controlled public safety system. That your 2021 budget should be cut by 50% by reducing APD's scope of work and also decreasing the officer to resident ratio and demilitarizing APD. As well as not beginning hiring the hiring process of a new police chief until a community-based council can be formed to review APD scope of work. And thanks so much.
Hello, my name is Peyton Haynes. I live in the Castleberry Hill neighborhood in the Castleberry Hill Landmark District in NTU, and the APD has failed to improve public safety and wellness. Therefore, there are demands that I'd like to make. First of all, the City of Atlanta should establish a reimagining public safety plan, creating a 5 to 7 year plan to dismantle APD and build a new community-based, community-controlled public safety system. The department's FY 2021 budget should be cut 50% by reducing APD scope of work, starting with relieving officers from all other forms of quality of life policing. All dollars saved from the reduction in APD's budget in FY 21 should be reallocated to alternatives and community-based resources, including but not limited to the newly formed Department of Equity, diversion programs such as pre-arrest diversion, and other community control programs. Do not begin the hiring process of a new chief of police until a community-based council can be formed to review APD scope of work and disperse hiring decision-making power across the community review committee. Decrease officer to resident ratio and demilitarize APD through assessing use of riot gear, chemical, and lethal weapons use. Please close the jail on or before July 1st, 2020. Ensure the proper resources are allocated to demolish the building and commit to its demolition on or before September 1st, 2020. Please adopt the reimagined ACDC task force policy recommendations and decriminalize the city code so they carry no potential for arrest. We need justice for our people. Please reopen investigations into all APD killings since 2017 and develop a community tribunal to assess use of force and take steps to hold APD officers accountable. Please fire the APD officers who killed Alexia Christian, who failed to follow policy and procedures. Please fire the APD officers who killed Oscar Kane, who failed to turn on their body cameras in accordance with APD policy. And fire the APD officer who killed DeAndre Phillips, who failed to follow policy and procedure. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, my name is Molly O'Shaughnessy. I live at 2300 Thomas Road, Southeast, and I am here to demand that y'all not increase the police budget by $12 million this year and instead defer that funding to public programs that actually reduce crime like housing and public health. Thank you.
Hello, Atlanta City Council. This is Diego Torres from the Grant Park neighborhood. I'm calling to urge you to defund the Atlanta police, please, and not invest any more money into their budget, as last year they were given already $5 million pay raises for cops and their equipment. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing what you guys come to decision with today. Bye.
Hello, my name is Sarah Wildman. I'm a constituent of District 5 in East Atlanta, Georgia. I'm calling to demand justice for Rayshard Brooks. I'm calling for an end to police brutality in the city of Atlanta and beyond. I cannot believe that the APD murdered another black man while they're being watched by everybody all over the world. I'm demanding that you defund the police. I'm demanding that you put those funds into community organizations, into minority communities, and into programs that can help public health and well-being. I want to see money sent towards equity, diversity, and inclusion, immigrant affairs, sustainability, human services. I demand that you end participation in Huey, where APD is trained by the Israeli government, bringing Israel's dangerous genocidal tactics against Palestinians to weaponize against the residents of Atlanta, which we have seen time and time again. I'm demanding the end of the Atlanta Police Department collaboration with the Fulton County and Rice Street Jail. I I'm overwhelmed. You guys serve us. We elect you. You represent us. And we're calling for a change. We're calling for action. Please defund the police. Reallocate those funds to where they can actually help people and uplift and empower Black communities and Black voices. And for God's sake, my name is Abigail Cohen. I'm calling on behalf of the...
Hi, I am Toria Fitzgerald. I am from Marietta, and I'm specifically calling the council to just call them to attention to the events that have been happening these last few weeks. I think that would call for an allocation of a slightly different budget. I think that I'm requesting that the council defund the Atlanta Police Department and reallocate the resources to other types of reforms that are going on in our community. Like, we could be investing the money in many other different things. I don't think that the police department needs to have a raise. I think if anything, they need to scale down so they can actually have one-to-one ratios of people they're policing and be able to actually have an impact on the community rather than just giving them a bunch of tools that obviously have been used on protesters. I also think that just if we allocate these resources more effectively, that our crime rate would go down much faster than if we just give them more shields and more weapons. But yeah, I'm just ultimately calling for the defunding of the Atlanta Police Department and for us to reallocate that budget into schools and mental health professionals, school counselors, a variety of resources that would ultimately help educate kids and help out with people who have mental health problems. And that might ultimately lead to decreasing a crime rate faster than weaponizing the police. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Matthew Bramer. I live in Zone 6 in Atlanta, and I'm calling to demand that the Atlanta City Council defund the police, as that is the absolute least they can do at this moment. I find it disgusting that police officers and policemen in the street are completely dressed in riot gear, which, while our workers and healthcare workers go without the personal protective equipment they need, and you can afford to dress every cop up like a military man. And all of my teachers, my whole life in public school, had to buy their own equipment. These police have completely and continuously failed their community. They do not protect us. They do not serve us. They simply terrorize us and murder our own citizens in the street. Taking away their money is the very least you can do, and holding them accountable for their own actions. Please defund the police. Invest in social workers. Invest in a safer way to keep people safe. Please defund the police.
My name is Nisa Floyd. I work at Atlanta Contemporary in the West Side. I'm calling to prompt the City Council to defund the police force, and all of the entities that fall underneath that umbrella. In defunding the police force, all of that money can be reallocated to institutions and organizations who are doing the work to create access and inclusion and diversity amongst their programming and amongst their resources to actually solve the issues that police officers and the police force only perpetuate. So instead of criminalizing people in need of different resources, instead of criminalizing people for being unemployed, criminalizing them for being unemployed and having no other options but to partake in illegal activity, we should be doing the work to make sure that people don't have to fall into that space by providing small children and children in the Atlanta public system with resources to have a better life, with supplying people who are suffering from homelessness with the resources to be rehabilitate and contribute to the community. By criminalizing these individuals, we only perpetuate the issue, and that is a problem in this capitalistic society. We need to be doing better, and we can only do that by defunding the police and reallocating those funds. There's no way to reform them. It has to be dismantled. It has to be defunded.
Hello, my name is Annie Stocklin, and I live in District 2.
I'm calling to add to the many voices that are asking you to defund the police. But even more, I think we need to rework our entire budget, considering COVID and the max evictions the city is about to face. It really does not seem like the current budget is at all taking into account the pandemic we are currently facing. So a few things I would like to see. First, I would like to see a lot of that police department funding pivot to social workers under the Emergency Services Department. Second, on page 417, the budget mentions selling surplus parcels not selected for affordable housing projects. This is incredibly concerning to me, as cities have enough trouble as is having enough public land, and this is land that could be used for land trusts later on or to build affordable housing later on. At this time, it's actually recommended by Sightline and a lot of other groups that cities actually buy up properties, and this is pretty contradictory to that goal. Third, a lot of that money could be pivoted into the city planning department to work on naturally occurring affordable housing in the city. And then fourth, homeless services in the city. For instance, Seattle has $8 million allocated in their operating budget, not under their housing authority, just in their actual operating budget to homeless services. And the city of Atlanta seems particularly regressive in that aspect. I think the Department of Transportation was a really exciting start, but I want to see a fiscal budget that's less reflective of a police state and more reflective of one of Atlanta's stated goals. Thank you so much for listening today. Annie Stacklin.
Hi there, my name is Priya Almasi. I'm a resident of Atlanta, City of Atlanta, and I'm calling to make a comment about the budget for the upcoming 2020 year, in 2021. I see that there is funds allocated to many different departments. There's a large portion, 30% of the budget, allocated to the police, and I was just calling to say, as a part of the defund the police movement, that, in my opinion, we should split up the police amount, the money allocated to the police, and allocate it to the other departments, and potentially create other social departments that could take the place of the police that work more towards prevention of crime in society instead of kind of what the police has unfolded to become, which has become a very deadly force in society. So I don't think we should allocate 30% of our tax money to the police. So thank you for listening. That's all.
Hi, my name is Rachel Will, and I live in NCUO. I'm calling to ask that you defund the police. You were elected to represent the needs of your constituents. You were elected to keep our communities safe and to help our communities prosper. If you go through with the proposed 2021 City of Atlanta budget without reducing the police budget significantly, you are not keeping us safe. You are not helping us prosper. You are directly putting Black and brown lives at risk every single day. This is a bottom line issue for us as voters. If you cannot help your communities prosper, we will find someone who will. We do not need $12 million added to the police budget for raises and more equipment. For a force that is improperly trained to do the majority of work they are expected to do. That puts lives at risk. That does not improve public safety. We also cannot afford a $1.2 million cut from the executive offices, which oversee equity, inclusion, immigrant affairs, sustainability, and human services. We need these services, and we also need more funding to be allocated to public education, social services, and community and social programs. Please be on the right side of history. Please be on the side of your community, and please defund the police. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mark Teichner, and I live at 2686 Ridge Valley Road in Atlanta. I'm calling because I'm asking the Atlanta City Council to maintain full funding for our fire and police departments for the ongoing safety of our community. While I view recent events as tragic, the actions of the police were only the result of actions initiated by the individuals who were injured or killed. Unfortunately, personal responsibility seems to be a secondary factor in how things have been reported. Just as we need to seek solutions to improve the lives of those who are at most risk, we should equally have compassion and stand behind those who put their lives on the line every day to to protect the community. A strong police force acts as a deterrent to those who have harmful intentions and is an essential element of a properly functioning society. I would ask those in decision-making positions to not make a knee-jerk reaction to these recent events by defunding these important departments of our government. Thank you for your service and your consideration of my position. Have a great day.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Zoof. I'm from Alpharetta, the Fulton County School District, and I'm asking to please consider defunding the APD and relocating the resources as of the recent brutality towards Rayshard Brooks. I would really personally love to see my friends of color not be afraid to be human beings in our city, and for a completely different, just community-controlled public safety system that's more safe for our people of color in our city. But yeah, to please reconsider defunding the APD, relocating the resources, as well as defunding and demolishing the jail, and justice for all of our people. Justice especially for all the lives lost due to police brutality and things like that. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, my name is Philip Dollard. I live in Grant Park, and I fully support the diversion of funds away from Atlanta's overfunded police force and towards other services such as mental health counseling and social services that I believe would more directly address the issues that Atlanta faces and would lead to a greater overall reduction, long-term reduction in violence and problems. Thank you.
My name is Abigail Cohen. I'm calling as a concerned citizen of the City of Atlanta. As mayor and city council members, your defensiveness is shameful. Your foot dragging is inexcusable. It is your responsibility as city council members and as the mayor to start the work of completely restructuring the system of safety and wellness in the city. This is work that must be done to atone and make right the decades of harm caused by the police violence, harassment, and abuse. This is work that must be started immediately with this current budget and pursued with focus and urgency. A few days ago, I listened to you all speak on a budget meeting. I listened to you guys talk in circles for around an hour. Do something. Make a change. Stop talking about making the change and actually do it. We want numbers. We want a plan. We want a budget. Please make a change. This has to stop now. Black Lives Matter.
Hi, my name is Michael Holby. I live at 2012 Valley, Sandy Springs, Georgia, 38328, but I'm about to move to 2201 Briarcliff Gables Circle Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, 30329. I believe that the City Council's plan to reimagine the police is not enough. I support the City Council defunding by the police. I think that they should create a 5 to 7 year plan to dismantle APD and build a new community-based, community-controlled public safety system. They need to cut the fiscal year 2021 budget by 50%, reducing APD's scope of work, starting with relieving officers from all other forms of quality of life policing. All the money that is saved by this reduction in the budget should be reallocated to alternatives and community-based resources. And you should not begin the hiring process of a new chief of police until a community-based council can be formed to review APD's scope of work and disperse hiring decision power, making across the community review committee. You also should decrease officer to resident ratio and demilitarize APD. I also support defunding and demolishing the jail. I also believe that we need to fire the APD officer who killed Alexia Christian. Fire the APD officer who killed.
Hello, this is Lisa Floyd. I work in the West Side at a nonprofit organization. I'm calling to prompt the City Council to defund the police force and everything that falls underneath that umbrella. because in doing so, all of the money that is disproportionately given to the police force can be reallocated to organizations and institutions and sectors of government that purport to solve solutions that police officers only perpetuate. There's no reforming the police force. There's no reforming the idea that people need to be policed. Essentially, people need access. They need resources. And spending thousands upon millions of dollars criminalizing these individuals instead of giving them the access and resources they need is only going to make matters worse. In order for us to do better, we need to be better, and that means defunding the police. These individuals have never historically cared for the centralizing the community. They centralize criminalization because that pays them money. And so long as they are centralizing capitalization and criminalization, they are not centralizing the community, they are perpetuating ignorance. This needs to be defunded. That is the only way to resolve the issues that come from having them in the first place.
I'm Zachary Hollis. I'm calling to leave a public comment for the council meeting. And I'd just like to voice my interest in defunding the police. I feel that, more importantly, we need to reallocate those funds to more appropriate areas, in the next budget cycle. I won't list all the reasons. I'm sure you're very familiar with, but I feel like going forward, this would be the right decision to take a bigger look at where these funds would be more appropriately allocated to for social justice and whatnot in our city. Yep, that's about it. Thank you for your time.
My name is Mackenzie Coffey from DeKalb County, calling to say that we believe reimagining the police is not enough. We are hoping to defund the police. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hi, my name is Eugen. I'm a resident of Kirkwood. I'm calling to demand to defund the Atlanta Police Department. A plan should be created for defunding the police department and to reallocate the resources to more effective community-based strategies for reducing crime and increasing safety. I am also demanding that the Atlanta City Detention Center be defunded and demolished. As long as the jail remains open, Atlanta Police Department will have reason to arrest people in order to fill it. I hope that the mayor, Keisha Bottoms, and all members of the Atlanta City Council have the moral backbone to listen to the people of their city and to act on their demands. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nicole DeFrancis. I live in Cabbagetown. And my comment would be that I would like to see funds allocated away from the police. I think they get paid. I think they have enough money in their budget. And I would like to see a lot more invested into our public school system. I personally went to Chamblee High School, and we didn't have enough books or desks for everyone. So I would really appreciate if we could allocate some of the funds that go to our police, to the public school system in Georgia. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, my name is Emily Vita. I live in Cabbagetown. I'd like to call and demand no increase for Atlanta Police Department's budget. And that is all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Benassa Zani. I'm a resident of the Metro Atlanta area. I'm calling to request the city reject the proposal to increase the police budget. We need to defund the police and use that money to invest in the community and the programs that benefit minorities. Thank you.
My name is Charlotte Sale, S-A-L-E. I live in the Morningside neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm calling to ask that you please relocate the Atlanta budget to defund the police. We need to protect our community, and the current system of the police is not doing that. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Tarek Janic. I'm here to voice my opinion on the funding for the Atlanta Police Department. I believe the police department's had many chances in the past to improve its behavior, improve its relations with the public. I don't anymore. They've had many cases of misconduct. I believe the money would be better spent towards causes that are better for society, more funding towards the people instead of the militarization of the police. I believe the funding should be decreased. At worst, it should not be increased at all. Thank you.
This is Phyllis Hogan, and I just want to say that I would like for you to continue to fund the police, not to defund the police, because for our safety in the city of Atlanta, we need them. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm a resident of District 1 in Atlanta. I'm calling to pledge my support for defunding the police. I think all these half measures, which reforms, don't help us, and they don't help the police. We're asking the police to function as counselors, something they've shown time and again they're incapable of doing. I also want to say that my city council representative, Carla Smith, who's utter silence on all these meetings is disturbing. I think you should know that a lot more people are listening to these than you think. And if I were you, I would be worried about my job. Thanks. Also, shout out to all the people listening at home. Trevor, for you.
Hi, this is Jeremy Davis from the Shanley Tucker area. I'm calling to ask the City Council, instead of increasing the police budget for the coming fiscal year, to invest in community resources and defund the Atlanta Police Department, to defund and deconstruct a systemically racist institution, that it will be a much better investment of resources to invest in executive offices and education, invest in housing assistance, and that I firmly believe that it will be a better investment for the city and better for crime and our people and overcoming systemic racism in general. Our people are better educated and are not in need of housing and not worrying about where their next meal will be. If we dismantle the systemic racism in our housing and in our apartments, we will have a better city, and we will not have a need for the Atlanta Police Department, which has failed to curb crime in the last few years due to systemic racism, even with more training. That the only option is to defund it and to reallocate more community resources, which are better suited to meet these.
This is Neelima Ramaraju. I'm a resident of the Old Fourth Ward in Atlanta, and I'm calling about the budgetary allocation, and specifically what is scheduled to be a raise for the police department, and asking that instead of that, we take a step back and do a data analysis and a data-driven approach to understand what the actual concerns and issues are in our communities, to understand the root causes of those, so a root cause analysis, and then assess what would be the appropriate response and programs and services needed to solve those issues and fund those accordingly and proportionally. If this already exists, I hope to see that soon, but I really hope that we can take a community and data-driven approach to how we use our taxpayer money. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cassie Maxwell, and I'm an Atlanta resident. I'm calling in regards to the city budget and the allocation of funds for the city of Atlanta. I would strongly encourage this council to consider defunding the police and reallocating those funds to other services that serve our community in more effective and better ways. And for instance, taking some of the money from the police budget and putting it towards social services that address mental health and community-led policing, community safety, towards education, and just general public health. The fact that the police have to respond to calls that are often mental health and wellness checks and basic traffic, incidents or traffic reports, it just takes away some things that they could be better used for. It should fall on a professional in like the mental health industry and social services to conduct those wellness checks because they have the training and the capacity to do so. We put too much pressure on police to handle every ailment that our society might face, and that just isn't, we're seeing that to be ineffective. And I also think that their funding is going towards militarizing the police, and I don't think that the police need to be militarized. So I would strongly encourage you to look at changing the allocation of funding for the state of Atlanta and defunding the police and putting it towards better.
Hi there, my name is Molly McClarty. I am a resident of Aisley Park, and I am calling to ask that the council defund the Atlanta Police Department. In the most simple of thoughts, driving around Atlanta every day, I come across potholes and infrastructure problems that are so vast, it makes absolutely no sense as to why the police should be awarded more money and a bigger budget. And with all the police brutality going on, I would really like to see our tax dollars harder at work that actually benefit community resources and better ways to reallocate that. There's also been no justice for all the people that have been murdered by the APD 2017. And I really hope that you guys can take a stronger stance on police brutality and take it seriously.
Hi, this is Colin Jones of District 9 in Atlanta. I am calling today to demand that you defund the police. The police have proven in this city that they cannot protect our people. They have, in fact, continuously enforced violence, and we should not continue to give them the money that they've had these past years. We should not have a larger prison industrial complex as a part of this city, and our tax dollars should not go towards that, but instead towards educational initiatives and community-led organizations that can actually prevent violence and crime in the city. Please do not continue to fund the police the way you have. Please defund, and while you're at it, let's abolish it.
Hi, this is Alex Lampert, and I'm a resident of West Oak. I'd like to start this public comment. It is imperative in a democracy citizens have some agency in determining what public safety looks like for them. And currently, Atlanta does not offer that. I would like to really see militarization of the Atlanta Police Department. We need to ban the use of all chemical weapons, rubber bullets. All of those things should not be used against citizens. I would like to see, for the fiscal year 2021, Atlanta Police Department budget cut up 50%. I would like those funds to be reallocated based resources and programs agency in determining what safety looks like. Just the Atlanta City Detention Center closed by July 1st of this year. I want that detention center defunded for 2021 because there's no point in paying $8 million behind a facility that should be closed. I want the facility demolished by September 1st, and I want the city to follow through on plans to build a community wellness center. I would like to see a reimagine Atlanta City Detention Center Task Force policy recommendations. I'd like the city to reinvestigate or reopen investigations in all of the killings since 2017 due to police brutality. And I want to see the officers miners who killed Alexia Christian, Oscar King, and DeAndre Phillips because they failed at their jobs. They shouldn't. In general, I would like to see this more transparency around public policies, including the city's relationship with the Atlanta Police Foundation, the city to reassess the relationship